Good morning, this is Kelly Land on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you begin your day.
Courthouses across South Dakota were closed yesterday for the Juneteenth holiday. When they reopen today, a Sioux Falls woman will be sentenced for starting a deadly fire. 35-year-old Jerry Jensen recently pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter and first-degree arson.
Last summer, she started a fire in an apartment house on North Grange Avenue in the central part of the city. The fire sent 53-year-old Cherise Admire to the hospital. She died the next day. Jensen is scheduled to be sentenced this afternoon.
New this morning, investigators in Mitchell are looking into what sparked a fire in the western part of the city on Monday. Officials shared this picture of what the scene appeared to be a garage destroyed.
You can also see firefighters looking at a car in the rubble. Officials say the fire spread quickly to nearby units and that the building is a total loss. Mitchell Fire EMS says more information will be released this afternoon. The city of Sioux Falls is hoping a new campaign will remind people to always lock car doors.
The City Council will have a second reading this evening to discuss a $50,000 campaign that would raise awareness surrounding theft. The funding for the campaign would go toward billboards and ads around the city to remind people to lock their car doors.
So we're trying to make people aware of, just keeping an eye out, and a lot of times even on vehicle theft, it's people leaving keys in their car, and I'm as guilty as anybody.
If the council approves the plan, it will start creating safety content within the next few weeks. Dakota State University has its marching orders from the U.S. Army when it comes to protecting the country's cyber defenses.
The school signed an agreement yesterday with the Army's Cyber Command to share resources and research into cybersecurity.
We're just really impressed with the research opportunities that we were already doing on campus and the development and for students being able to perform a lot of this new and interesting research.
A lot of that research will be top secret, conducted by students and faculty right on the Madison campus. The remains of 2 Native American children will be returned to South Dakota from more than 1,000 miles away in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, according to the U.S. Office of Army Cemeteries. Amos Laframboise and Edward Upright were 2 children with ties to tribal land in South Dakota when they were sent to the Carlisle Industrial Indian School in 1879.
They both died while there, and while the U.S. Army Office of Army Cemeteries says they'll soon be returned home, the Sisseton, Wahpeton, Oyate are upset with how the process has gone. Historian Tamara St. John has been working with those folks on bringing the 2 boys home for over a half-decade. She said they thought they'd be able to come home last year, but that didn't happen.
Within the denial letter, they made statements that we will do this next year. But the problem is that they have not engaged us as a tribe and our leadership in order to make those plans. And so now to see that they're just proceeding is unsettling to a lot of us and disrespectful in my opinion.
In tonight's Kelloland Investigates, Lauren Solik looks into the frustration the Sisseton, Wahpeton, Oyate has had with the U.S. Office of Army Cemeteries.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Carsons. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, everybody. We'll be scanning today for the possibility of some storms. Central South Dakota, most likely on that list. You can see the severe weather risk map as highlighted in yellow, and that includes Mobridge and Pierre. Obviously here, be weather aware as some storms will likely form in spots in that vicinity. Sioux Falls, probably not. We'll keep things dry and just plain hot this afternoon. Most of us will be back in the 90s today. Brookings 92, Mitchell 96, Winter 95. That's a quick look at weather. There are more storms in the forecast. We'll take a closer look coming up.
Thank you, Brian. Eastern and central Kelloland are in for another hot day with temperatures expected to hit the 90s. On Monday, families beat the heat by heading to the lake.
Wall Lake Beach in Minnehaha County was busy with the adults and kids relaxing in the sand and swimming. People we talk with also pack sunscreen and plenty of drink to stay safe in the heat. Saturday will mark 20 years since 67 tornadoes touched down in eastern South Dakota, becoming known as Tornado Tuesday.
One of the most memorable tornadoes that day was the EF4 tornado that destroyed the small town of Manchester in Kingsbury County. One researcher recorded a 100 millibar drop in the barometric pressure in 10 seconds.
They came to South Dakota with the intentions of deploying these turtles, which basically are scientific instruments that are designed to withstand the direct hit of a tornado. And their goal was to collect scientific data on a tornado, to probe the inside. Because, getting inside a tornado, that's not an easy thing to do.
You can find the official National Weather Service report from that day in a KELOLAND.com original by Eric Mayer, online now. And in this weekend's episode of Inside KELOLAND, you'll hear from our team of meteorologists about Tornado Tuesday 20 years later. Yesterday, people nationwide celebrated Juneteenth in observance of the end of slavery in the United States.
In Sioux Falls this past weekend, a celebration was held at 8th Railroad to commemorate the day. Last night, some people still gathered for a short ceremony near the Ark of Dreams.
Juneteenth, it's not a black celebration, it is an American celebration, and that's what I want everyone to get the message is like, it's not just for black people, this is for America. Like, it's the importance is, this is big for America, for all of us to recognize that. It's Freedom Day.
The Ark of Dreams was lit in the colors red, green, and yellow for the holiday. To see our coverage of Juneteenth from Saturday, it's attached to this report here on KELOLAND.com. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, as we look upon our forecast, obviously today in the short term, hot weather is the big story right now. We're going to get back to the 90s. Our Futurecast update hour by hour quickly rises those temperatures even close to 100, but maybe we'll stay a little below that today, more locations than not. We do want to point out, though, by early evening, watch radar along this trough feature. We've got central South Dakota. We could easily pop some scattered storms, and where those develop, some severe weather can be expected with some hail and strong winds with those strongest cells. Then we'll see the overnight. We could even have some more development up here in northwest South Dakota. And perhaps we do have a window of opportunity for some rain. Again, this would be more scattered, but boy, you hit a few spots in that area between Chamberlain and Huron. That would be sorely needed. That's one of our driest pockets the past 60 days. So we'll take what we can get. I just don't want to promise that as a high probability, but it's beginning to show up a little more on some of our modeling here, trying to hold at least a couple of these things together tomorrow morning. Now, a lot of that, whatever is on radar tomorrow morning, would kind of fizzle, and then we'll kind of watch the redevelopment in southwest South Dakota, possibly up toward Mobridge again tomorrow night. And then those thunderstorms not likely to get to Sioux Falls just yet. We'll kind of hold back the rains on that. I would say as we watch Futurecast, though, the theme is reoccurring or repeating rounds of showers and thunderstorms. When you connect the dots from North Dakota into central and western KELOLAND and all the way into Nebraska, it's not just a fast-moving feature. This is kind of stuck in a pattern, so it is going to start changing our moisture ranges. We've seen that already. I think of the evidence here, at least in the north central. Sioux Falls, a little more questionable. We definitely will get teased by some of these thunderstorm chances as early as Thursday and Friday. I would argue Saturday could be quite an interesting weather day if this system pulls out. Even the Storm Prediction Center has already weighed in on this, and they put out a Day 5 severe weather outbreak map. A little bit unusual, not unheard of, but, to go out 5 days and put out a map, that's certainly something we would want to pay attention to as we plan the weekend. We do have Sioux Falls in a 70% chance of rain. So that's kind of how things are figured right now. We'll keep an eye on it. 96, our high today. Mitchell, certainly it's hot right out the gate here, but probably not in the 90s all week. I think we can kind of tone this thing back as we get toward the end of the week. Still warm, though, upper 80s. There'll be some humidity around, and that'll, of course, feed into any potential storms here. You'll notice that your time window of rain chance in Aberdeen, timeline's moved up a little bit. It's a little faster. Tomorrow already, and even into Thursday, it's a 70% chance of rain and a 50% chance on Friday. So let's see if we can move the needle a little bit and get some rain for folks in that north central and northeast that could sure use it. I do think Pierre's in a good spot to pick up some rain too. the odds of getting some appreciable amounts of at least an inch or two aren't bad. Actually, they're better than 50-50 shots now. So that's a little more optimistic. And I also think for Rapid, where it's been wetter anyway, we're going to pick up some additional rains through the Black Hills. It's cooler, too. It's only in the low to mid-70s tomorrow and Thursday. Check out more details on the forecast online at KELOLAND.com.